Matthew Lloyd gave him a huge rap, didn't he, a couple of weeks ago?
Matthew Lloyd did. He reckons that he would be up there with the Jonathan Browns and Nick Riewoldt, but he's not, only because he hasn't played in finals and done well in finals.
Let's hear Matthew Lloyd talking about Matthew Pavlich 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Really, if he was played in Melbourne, I think we'd regard him better than Jonathan Brown and Nick Riewoldt. But
better?
I think better. I think
Gee, that's a massive rap.
I think his form over a period of time, whether it's in the midfield or up forward, has been phenomenal. It's now one that they're winning games. He's getting the credit, and I think he's going past them.
I'm sure that filtered back to you, Matthew. That's a very flattering comment.
Oh, look, it is, and you know, any time you hear a player of Matthew Lloyd's standing in the game, and obviously he's very well received throughout Melbourne to say those things. It's obviously nice to hear, but I can guarantee you players don't play to hear those sorts of things. It's about making sure that internally that you receive well by your teammates, and absolutely the peer review and peer related feedback is what we regard really highly. So it's nice to hear. But as Robert and Matthew are both saying, you know, we need to play finals. I would love to play some finals for Fremantle.
Matthew, tell us a bit about two of your teammates, experienced teammates in Chris Tarrant and Aaron Sandilands. I've got to admit, I didn't think Tarrant would reach the heights that he's reached playing for Fremantle in a new position in defence, and Sandilands' development from when he started to where he's at now has just been amazing.
Yeah, look, Taz has been great for us down back. There's no question of that. I guess his ability to play on a variety of forwards. You know, he's able to play on the Jonathan Browns, who are able to run all day, and Nick Riewoldt types of players, but he's also able to play on guys who are really strong one-on-one in the goal square. So he's been a revolution down back for us, there's no question of that. In terms of Aaron, yeah, look, when he first arrived at the club, he was someone with a huge amount of raw ability, and when I say raw ability, that sort of gets bandied around a fair bit when players arrive at the club. But when you see someone who's close enough to 7 foot, 120 kilograms, the upside with Aaron was huge. No pun intended, by the way. And he absolutely has grown with his leadership skills, and with that, you've seen him blossom into a fantastic player, and you know, arguably the #1 ruckman at the moment. You know, 2-time All-Australian the last 2 years, and so far, I'm sure he's doing well in a lot of the media votes, the Brownlow, who knows how well he's polling, but it's great to have him in the side and playing really well.
Yeah, it's a great story. Aaron Sandilands turning into a very complete player. Pav, player that I'm interested in is Adam McPhee. I heard the crowd on the weekend almost giving him the Bronx cheers, and there's a bit of a perception over here that the Fremantle supporters and the Western Australian public aren't a big fan of Adam McPhee. Can you explain that?
Oh, look, I disagree. I think what they've seen is someone come back to the club who has had a distinguished career at Essendon. We're certainly backing him in each week. He actually played really well on the weekend. What you don't understand from the outside is the fact that Adam's had an interrupted pre-season. He obviously arrived at the club through the pre-season draft, and it took him a little bit of time to adjust to the Perth way of life in terms of the way we play, where we train, all those little bits and pieces which every player needs to become accustomed to when they move into state. But also, you know, he had an ankle injury and also a shoulder injury which really restricted him through the pre-season. So what we're starting to see now, especially on the weekend, is Adam get some continuity in his training and also his games, and he's starting to play well for us.
Hayden Ballantyne, Matthew, there's a touch of the Stephen Milnes about him. Is he a bit of a serial pest?
Put it this way, he's great to have in the forward line next to us. Look, Hayden's pressure, I think, yes, there's an element of pest there, which, you know, he probably likes, but absolutely his forward pressure and his presence, even though he's a little fella, and our forward line has just been tremendous all year for us. I must say, you know, playing alongside him and Chris Mayne has been fantastic from my perspective. The amount of pressure they put on the opposition with regard to getting up in their face, putting pressure on, tackling, getting the ball back off the opposition is fantastic, and we really, really reward that highly and rate that highly at our club.
Luke Darcy, talk us through this P division with Hayden Ballantyne yesterday.
He's in dangerous territory here, Stephen, because Pav can see this as well. There is a new rule that says if you stage, you can be fined. Pav, he's on notice, our little mate Hayden.
He is.
Probably a little lucky on that one, you reckon?
Yeah, well, you and I both know involved the Laws Committee, Das, that we don't tolerate that type of behaviour. Trust me, he got a fine today in our forwards meeting, so don't worry. Yeah, he did. He copped a fine from us, so he understands that that's not acceptable behaviour at all.
Speaking of vision, we've got some cracking vision here, Matthew. Let's cast our minds back to 1999. You were captain of the under-18 South Australian team. You weren't picked up as a 17-year-old. There was some suggestion perhaps you were a bit too heavy and maybe your build wasn't going to be suited to AFL footy.
Gee, this is, you've gone to the archives here, haven't you? I think I'm playing on Jason Blake there, who is at St Kilda now.
Number 24.
Yeah, 24, yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, look, it's fair to say. Absolutely, I was. Have a look at me.
What was your weight then compared to now?
Oh, no, I was about 94 kilograms. That's Darren Glass, number 20 for Western Australia as well. I was about 94 kilograms and now I'm probably about 98. So, look, to be honest, not a huge amount of difference, but I guess like anyone going through that stage in life, you're either a skinny kid, which we see quite often now coming into the AFL, a skinny kid that needs to bulk up, or someone who's got a bit too much weight on them and needs to trim down. I was certainly at the latter.
Yeah, he actually looked like a young Matt Preston. I didn't know he played football. A young Matt Preston.
I think that broke up. I missed that.
Michael Johnson, disappointing what happened a couple of weeks ago. Where's he at?
Yeah, look, he had his first day back at the club today. He met with the leadership group this morning, and I won't divulge exactly what happened there. We certainly don't think that's up for public dialogue or public knowledge, but we had a good, honest chat with him, as well as a couple of weeks ago when the incident first happened. He discussed quite a lot of his emotions and his feelings to the broader group at our player meeting in the afternoon, but you see him there just going through some of his paces today with regard to coming back to the group. Look, he's got a long way to go to gain the absolute trust and respect back of the player group, but we're here to support him. We're here to help him through the issues that he has, and we're confident that Michael Johnson will be back playing with Fremantle very soon.
Matthew, exciting times at the Fremantle Dockers. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, guys. Cheers.
Matthew Pavlich from the Fremantle Dockers on 1 week at a time. Just keeping a little lid on things, but...
Well, I just thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, I'm just talking about, talking down the finals.
Yeah, but I guess we don't see a lot of Matthew Pavlich. No. And obviously he's playing really well, he's leading well, and I just thought that was a fantastic interview. With,
he's in a good space, isn't he?
Yeah, with one of the best players in the country.
I know they're easy comments to make, but I think Matthew Lloyd's on the mark. I think if we saw him at one of the big Victorian clubs and had the opportunity to play in finals, that's out of his control. I think he's a more complete player than Brown, a more complete player than Riewoldt. And I mean that with two of the great stars of the game. But Matthew, his ability to play other roles in the game is almost unparalleled. He can go in the centre and be an elite centreman. He can go and be an All-Australian fullback. And he's one of the best forwards of all time. He's an out-and-out star, and I hope he gets to play on the biggest stage and prove it.
Another elite forward is Lance Franklin, and he's now been suspended for the third time in 8 matches, boys. 1 week if he pleads guilty to this.
Well, he's a bit of a slow learner, buddy, and it's a shame because we want to see him out.